welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Bronson film again, and I want to point out some things that people are overlooking. Okay, when I analyze films or images or anything, I get a copy of the same type of film they use and same kind of camera they use. Now, my second oldest son was viewing the comments for me. He posted some of them, but some of them he didn't, he didn't post unless it's my approval and stuff like that, because I gave him approval to, post whatever. But, I'll make sure they'll get on there eventually. On there, they will be on there. But, people was pointing out about, well, when I made my video, they were sort of saying, well, Leroy, you got to understand it was this type of a camera, it was this type of film, they switched lenses and stuff like that. I understand all that. Like I said, I get the same kind of film, same type of film, same type of camera and stuff that these people used. The concept that I was pointing out, that the film was pieced together, as I point out, it was pieced together, because when we view the film, okay, not only we see the changes, okay, but we see different time frames in this one film. It jumps back and forth from the time of the assassination, before the assassination, after the assassination, back to the time of the assassination, back to before the assassination. It's jump in time, as I point out in one part of the film. In the beginning part of the film, is I point out its time frame is 2:25. Then later on in the film, I point out the time frame on the clock. Now I'm showing this on the clock, 1:18. Now 1:18 should have been filmed before 2:25. If you're filming one complete film from beginning to end, okay, it should follow in the same time frame all the way as you're filming, but it's not. It's jumping time frames. It's back and forth, meaning that this film was cut up and it was pieced together, whether it was one camera or two cameras. But this film, one complete film now, mind you, was cut into pieces and put in different time frames, which I'm going to show you. We're going to pull this film back up again, and I'm going to talk about this. This is before the assassination, okay? This is before the assassination. Now this is coming to the time of the assassination. Now see how bright it is and everything else, because it's high noon mostly. It's, 12:30. Now we got the part of assassination. Now we're going to switch. Time on the clock, 2:25 it shows up, 2:25. Now we're going right back to the time of assassination. Okay, time of assassination was at 12:30. Now we're going back in here. Now it gets brighter again. Okay, and we're getting full frame. Okay, now we're going back again. Now we're heading back to the same thing that we just left. Okay, we just left this part. See how dark it is and everything else like that. And then we're going back to brightness and everything else. And then we're going back to that other time frame, which will be around 2:25 or 2:30 at this point. Okay, now we see flowers here. Now flowers and stuff didn't come in until 2 or 3 hours later when people started doing this. Now watch, this is what I'm trying to point out. Now we have the flowers. They're filming the flowers right now. Okay, now they're filming again at a different location. Now we're going right back to the beginning before the assassination. People starting to line up and stuff like this. Okay, because remember, after assassination, all these people was gone. But now we're going right back to the beginning again before the assassination. Now we're going again right back to the same flowers that was filmed before earlier, as you've seen, filmed before earlier. Now we're going right back to flowers again, which arrived to almost 2 to 3 hours later. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, and this is what I'm trying to point out, that this film has been pieced together. Now, if there's one complete film, okay, you're recorded from beginning to end, there shouldn't be no time lapse in between these time frames, where it goes from 2:25 in the beginning part of the film, 2:25, and then when you get in the middle of the film, you're back to 1:18. Okay, and you shouldn't see flowers here and then no flowers here, but then flowers again here. Okay, and they're filmed in the same sequence. It should have been complete just straight one time, one straight flowers and stuff, and then everything else. But like I said, we're going back and forth. It's jumping back and forth between time frames. Okay, I want to point this out. I understand about the lenses. He could switch the lenses on it, but he would have kept on doing this the whole time. But he's going back and forth in time, basically. Well, I'm going to go forward in time, film this part, and I'm going to go back in time to film this part. No one does that. Okay, no one does that. That's why I sit there and I made this video yesterday, and I point out the fact that it was pieced together, and I point out time frames. It was 2:25 in the beginning part of the film, and then it turned around and went 1:18 almost in the middle of the film, or a little bit longer down. So see, it was pieced together. That's what I want to point out. Now another thing I want to point out as well, like I do, I appreciate the comments and stuff like that, whether they're good or bad, as long as they ain't put nobody else down or anything like that. But like I said, a comment is a comment. Okay, whether you agree with me or not, I don't care. Okay, I understand that what type of camera he used. I understand what type of film he has and everything else. But we're not, you're looking at just that one thing, but I'm trying to point out the whole view of, we have to sit there and notice that this film was pieced together, because if we don't, we're going to miss a lot of information. Because time frames in a film, if you're filming beginning and end, there is no time frame where it's going to go back in time, forward in time, back in time, forward in time, and a film, unless it's filmed that way, but it was cut up and it was placed over here. You take some of the part in the back, you put it in the front. You take something that was in front, you put it in the back. You can't do that. So thank you again for the comment stuff. I'll make sure they get up on there and stuff like that. Now, I want to point this out. Now, a lot of people will sit there and say, well, as I pointed out before in another video, I want to do this real quick. How serious I am about making this documentary is, I made a decision that, people sit there and say, do it this way or do that way, use iPods and everything else. You cannot film a documentary with iPods. You cannot film a good, strong documentary with sitting at home on in a chair, getting images off the net. You cannot do that. You got to be firsthand. You got to be right there on that spot. So what I'm going to do is, everybody knows I have book sales. Okay, I got books for sale, and Evidence of Conspiracy. Okay, and everybody knows I even got a research book on Patterson and Gibbon Bigfoot film and Noah's Ark, and also people knows I wrote fiction stories and stuff like that. Okay, this is Revenge of Bigfoot. This is Sasquatch Z. Now, how serious am I about making this documentary? This is how serious I am. I was talking to my wife last night, and people sit there and says, well, hey, you're trying to do a scam. I'm not a scammer. Okay, if I was a scammer, I would have done things a long time ago that people's asked me to do. Okay, I didn't do it because my research is about the truth. I mean, I had Bigfoot researchers sit there and to ask me, it says, well, you shouldn't have showed your suit. You should have went out and filmed hoax yourself. You would have been a millionaire. It ain't about the money. It's never been about the money. It's been about the truth. That's what my research does. So when people calls me a scammer or something like that, that kind of does get me upset, because I'm a father. Okay, I'm a husband. I have kids. We have morals. Okay, I teach my kids morals, that you respect one another. You don't lie to get what you want in life, because that's not the way you're supposed to be. Okay, I believe in God. Hopefully one day I can sit there and go through the gates of heaven and say, God, I've done my job. I believe in God. Okay, I don't scam people. I don't lie to people or nothing. Now, how serious am I about making this documentary? This is how serious I am. All my book sales, any book that I sell, any royalties I make off of these books, and any of my books, I'm going to put towards this documentary. That's how serious I am. Then after I'm getting done with this documentary, I'm going to make a documentary on this film to show people what really happened. Okay? That's how serious I am. You cannot sit there and take a cheap camera or a small little dinky camera. Why don't you, if that was possible, then why do these people that does their Ghost Adventures, series, or these other series, TV documentaries and stuff, why do they use big cameras? Why these movie productions use big cameras if you can use a cell phone? Because you don't get high quality if you use a cell phone. Okay, like I said, all right, that's how serious I am, about doing this documentary. All my royalties I'm putting to the side, and I'm going to save, and I'm going to save, and I'm going to give people progressive how it goes along on my royalties, how much I got saved so far, because that's how serious I am about making this documentary. Now, someone made a donation yesterday, which I'm going to thank you for believing and for we're going to get this done. And since you was the first one to step up to the plate and you made a donation, I'll make sure you, and his name is Bill. You can go to the site, whatever, it's going to be in the description down below. Thank him, because we're going to get this done, Bill. We will get this done, and I guarantee you, you're going to get a copy of that documentary because you want it as much as I want it. So since we're going to do this and we're going to do this right way, you're going to get a copy of that documentary when it's done. I just wanted to make this video here to point out some facts about the Bronson film that people don't understand. Okay, they want to overlook because they want to point this out or point that out. I can understand that as well, because you want to give information out as well. I understand that, okay, and I appreciate that. I really do. But like I said, when I'm pointing out something, don't overlook everything. Just just to prove one little point, it doesn't matter. You got to overlook some things and look at the whole picture, just not just one thing. Look at the whole picture, and that's what I wanted to do. And just like I wanted to add this on there too, so I can just, instead of making two videos over it for this one thing, like I said, I get tired of people trying to call me a scammer, one thing or another. It does get me upset, because I'm not, because my research is about honesty and trust and truth, okay? Just because I I asked people for help, for my bills, for my family, stuff like that, has nothing to do with this, okay? That expired, okay? This is not a scam. This is actually getting to the bottom, getting them answers out there, the quest for answers. That's why, we came up with the slogan, JFK, because we're tired. We're sitting here every single day. I could post videos after videos and explain this, explain that, show this image, show that image, but it still don't make no difference, okay? I want to go to that site. I want to film that site. And there was people sitting there saying, oh, you've never been at that site. I've been at that site in the 80s, okay? I've been to Dallas, Texas about 3 or 4 times the most during the 80s, because we used to travel a lot, okay, when I was doing work and everything else in construction. I've been to Dallas, Texas. I've been to Dealey Plaza a few times when I was down there, or over there, I should say. When I was over there, I went there, okay? Even at that time in the 80s, there seems like there was, something not right. But I want to show people firsthand. Okay, give that gunman's view to you so you can see for yourself if that shot can be made or that shot cannot be made. I want to do some things that no other person does. Just like I said, you can watch all the documentaries you want and everything else, but do you see their view? They claim a gunman's here, they claim a gunman there, but do they show you their view that they had at the time of the assassination? Did they show you that their car was in motion? Did they show you that there was people standing in front in different locations? They don't show you none of that. Only thing they tell you is, hey, here's where the shot came from, and that was it. And they'll point to a direction, but they never show you that view. Did they have actually a shot from that view? No one knows. But they told us that a shot came from there. That's all they tell us. But they don't show us no evidence if it could happen or not. But that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to show you. That's what this documentary is about. Anyway, tell your friends about us. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget the subscribe button. Don't forget, we're going to make more videos and stuff. We're going to do a lot more updates on this quest for answers. I'll post in my royalties when I start coming out. I sold 3 books already this month, and that's going towards it now. So thank you, and have a pleasant day.